caution. The track is clear, and 10 of the lead lap cars, including Kyle Busch, the race leader, have made pit stops under this caution flag. So when they cycle back around, Matt Kenseth will be in front of Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick, and Mark Martin. Let's go to Chris Myers for a Visa race break.
Thanks, Mike, from the Hollywood Hotel with Jeff Hammond. Just a quick recap of what has happened over these first 200 laps or so. Jimmy Johnson, the points leader, coming in with suspended crew chief Chad Knaus returning for his first race of the season. And you see Johnson into the wall, but it was a cut tire that caused the bigger problems. He is 10 laps down currently. Greg Biffle at 52 laps also had a tire problem, went a couple laps down back on the lead lap, but a tire problem for Kurt Busch, a right rear. At least 5 different drivers had tire problems. And then we had bumping and grinding Kevin Harvick and Ryan Newman, Jeff.
Short track racing and short tempers right there between those two. Ryan gets in the back of the 29 car, and then next thing you know, 29 slams back into the 12, and through all this, it triggered a little deal behind them where Dave Blaney got spun around by Clint Boyer, David Stremme, Brian Vickers all involved. And oh, by the way, here comes the 55 car, Michael Waltrip, and bam, he gets involved late in that accident.
That brought out the 7th caution, and that's why we had the delay to clear the track. 23 cars have been involved in some type of incident so far, and this has been a Visa race break. No matter what it takes, life takes Visa.
Green flag.
Yeah, Kyle Busch in the 5 car, he was somewhat in a box because he had been out there for 90 laps on those tires, so he almost had to come to pit road.
Kenseth, who led 415 laps here in winning last August, out in front. Kevin Harvick got bumped up by Kenny Schrader in turn 3, and it's taken him a lap or 2 to get back by, and does so. Traffic jam. That's Biffle in front of Jeff Burton, Bobby Labonte alongside.
Now, all of these cars were cars that just pitted for 4 fresh tires on that caution, including Bobby Labonte and Jeff Burton. Jeff Green in the 66 car as well.
Racing hard for 16th place on back.
You know, a guy that's just we haven't said a whole lot about. We're a couple hundred laps into this race, riding along there in the top 5, minding his own business. Mr. Consistency, Mark Martin, and he will sit right there all day long. And if those other guys beat themselves, he'll be there to take advantage of it.
We were talking about Kyle Busch in the 5 car that had to come to pit road. I'm going to tell you, not too bad. He restarted back in 14th. Now he has the fresher tire, so he's pretty much picking them up and laying them down right now.
Just ahead of him, Casey Kane. Last year at this time, he came into Bristol 28th in points. Right now, he is 2nd in the Nextel Cup standings.
But just back to follow up on Mark Martin, and we've got a caution out for debris right now, but just real quickly to follow up on Mark Martin, you know, he's quietly sitting 4th in the points, but Bristol's not been that great to him the last 5 years. No top 10 finish here in the last 10 races, so he'd like to change that today.
A wad of tape. That may
may or may not be the reason for the caution.
That's kind of a wad of tape off of somebody's car. Look like.
J.J. Yaley for Joe Gibbs Racing will get the free pass, and that will give us 29 cars on the lead lap.
I think it's pretty safe to say, unless it's a car at the back of the lead lap cars, for the most part, I think we'll see everyone stay out here.
My daughter Katie is 5.5, and her mom walked into the suite yesterday where the MRO kids are, and my little reserve daughter, who usually hides in a crowd, is jumping up and down going, "Go JJ, go JJ." I don't know what this is all about, but Yaley's her favorite driver, and she hopes he does well today.
I think it's just his name, J.J. Yaley.
Maybe it is.
Yay!
Look at that crowd, 40 degrees out. they were ready for it. They're dressed for a midwinter football game, but boy, they're seeing action and excitement right here, Chris.
Yes, Mike, Fox Sports proud to be the new home of the BCS, coming off the highest ratings in history. And beginning in January, Fox will be home to the Fiesta Bowl, Orange Bowl, the All-State Sugar Bowl, as well as the new BCS Championship game. The BCS moves to Fox beginning in January 2007, and glad to welcome All-State as part of our BCS College Football Championship coverage, as well as our NASCAR sponsorship along the way.
Chris, a lot of drivers here nervously wondering about what we call the danger zone, which is the top 35 in championship points. Beginning next week, the top 35 in this year's points are guaranteed to race at Martinsville Speedway. Everybody else has to time their way into the field. And there are some pretty good names like Bobby Labonte, who are right on the cusp of that top 35. Right now, where Labonte sits, he'd be 34th in the standings. Drivers like Scott Riggs, Sterling Marlin would be on the outside looking in.
Mike, Katie's not going to be too happy because J.J. Yaley will not get the free pass. Kyle Petty would, because J.J. Yaley, when they doubled up over in turn 3, he did it in an improper fashion. You've got to pass to the right if a car yields to you. He went to the inside of Brent Sherman, the 49 car, and you can't do that. You have to pass to the right when they go to double up.
She likes Kyle, too.
He still has about 291 laps to make that lap up.
Okay. Darrell, if you're up on the wheel at a race like this, and how can you not be, do these caution flags give you a chance to gather your thoughts and calm down, or does that open wound just sit there and fester if you're mad at somebody and you have some time to think about it?
Well, you get a little bit of rest. In this place, again, they talk about how physical it is. You get a little bit of rest, and so it kind of gives you a charge, and you might decide to go back up there and say, well, I'll just race him a little bit harder, which will lead to something. We just don't know what.
Let's get out of the pits of the third place car, the defending series champion of Tony Stewart, where crew chief Greg Zipadelli looks like he's dressed for a weekend of snowmobiling, Matt.
Mike, it's not the Crusade for Kids charity ride in January, but it almost feels like it's if you got your hot coffee up here. What's Smoke saying about the car?
That's okay. We got a little loose on that long run right there. We put a little wedge in it. I just preach to them, just be patient, be patient. We need to be there at the end. We've had some good cars this year and haven't come home with the finishes I think that we're capable of, and so we're going to shift gears, try to be a little conservative, see if we can bring this thing home at the end.
He actually came on the radio when they had the big crash down in 1 and 2 and said, see, I keep telling everybody, I keep preaching, just take your time, give and take.
He's doing a great job of that today. Tony's he's sure come a long ways in the last few years, especially in places like this. You know, you got to be aggressive, but you got to be smart at the same time. And he's doing a great job in this Home Depot Monte Carlo today.
He's led 92 laps so far, Mike.
Matt Kenseth, the leader, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, as we're going to go back to green here next time by.
Yeah, it doesn't do any good to preach patience. It doesn't do any good to give you all that instructions if you're not going to take it. And a smart driver will listen to what people are above and around him are saying, and he will go out there and do what they ask him to do.
We're hearing that J.J. Yaley in the 18 that he's still not listening to the right instructions for NASCAR. Looks like he may get it.
Now he's going to go to the tail end.
He's got to go to the tail end of the longest